Hey you guys, welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T. I got another recap for you guys. Married at First Sight UK Season 7, Episode 17. And in today's episode, we got to talk about this whole thing with Thomas and April again. They keep beating a dead horse with this. Then we got Jonathan and Sophie are now having issues. A lot of folks are not happy about how he says that he's not willing to rip her clothes off, I guess. And then we got this other scandal starting to erupt with Whitney and Matt. So before we unpack this, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel to receive all updates, and please don't forget to like and share. Okay, so we're finally at the long-awaited retreat. I gotta say, Married at First Sight UK have some incredible venues, from the honeymoons to these dinner parties to now this retreat. Absolutely gorgeous. I know we don't really see that over on the US version over here. I mean, they have some nice spots, but not as nice as what's going on over there. So we had these messy drama-filled questions between the guys and the gals. And of course, you know that that's going to start some mess. And the first set of mess starts with this whole thing with, of course, Sophie and Jonathan. So these two have been doing very well. They've been in my top 2 for the last several recaps, if you haven't known. And I mean, it's interesting that some of the viewers were left not so happy after episode 17, because during a heart-to-heart chat with some of his fellow contestants during that whole question game or whatever, Jonathan had revealed that he wasn't physically attracted to Sophie, even going so far to say he didn't even really want to rip Sophie's clothes off, despite having already slept with her. Now, he was discussing this whole lack of intensity in their relationship, and Jonathan opened up about what he felt was missing. And he says sometimes you meet someone and you just want to rip their clothes off. That intensity, that it's just a feeling that you have between each other, not necessarily just you, but it's reciprocated. It's there. Now, Kwame asked him, and he was kind of in disbelief about, hold on, you mean you don't want to rip off Sophie's clothes? To which Jonathan replied, well, yeah. And what he said didn't sit well with a lot of the fans on social media, because a lot of them was like, hey, if you weren't attracted to her, why did you sleep with her? Now, a lot of people really got into the fact, well, who did he think he is and all of this. And then you had some fans that were saying, you know, hey, I got an unpopular opinion. He just don't know how to articulate himself. And, you know, he has preferences, you know. So it was mixed views when it comes to that comment. The other thing is that Sophie wanted to now start to speak her mind. One thing I will agree with Jonathan is that you have to focus on your relationship. You cannot bring, you know, outside influences into your relationship. Now, you can take advice, but coming in and worried about what other people think, I don't think that's a good thing. It's the two of you. You don't know these people less than a month. So, I mean, it's nice to build friendships, and most of these people in these processes do. But when you're trying to build upon your relationship with your partner, you got to be laser focused on that. And I do agree with that part. But with the other thing, you know, he's going to have to try to, because I know that's going to get back to Sophie. And yeah, that's not going to sit well with her. We'll see how she responds. But I hope they continue to do well and work from this little, you know, bumps in the road that they're going through. So let's talk about this other drama that's going on with Thomas storming off, leaving April in tears, and this whole explosive thing. So there's more drama between Thomas and April in this episode. He accused her of being a liar, stormed off, leaving her in tears, and insisting to the rest of the group that, you know, she's done nothing wrong. Now, I will say that this whole mess started way early in the season. And at one point, you know, it was between April and Thomas and Shanita, and that the first dinner party, April couldn't be there because she was sick. Well, they jump into this whole thing where Thomas accused April of being the B word and a liar before this whole thing started out. He labeled April and George as the fakest couple. You're the fakest person here. There's this whole rant Thomas had about it really F's him off that he's been made to be a effing liar because I'm not a liar. My name has been dragged through the mud because of your lies. April was shaking her head in disbelief, talking about, I would never, I'm not lying. And then she goes into these tears. And I mean, we see Whitney jump to her defense, telling Thomas that's a big statement to make. But Thomas kept going. She pulls this face and cries all that BS, F you, bye-bye. I mean, it was messy. So then he came back and decided to clear up the rumors after April, all this stuff. And April was crying. We all saw that when she ran off to the bathroom at that other thing. This is just a mess, And if you guys haven't been on my TikTok, which, it'll pop up here in a minute. Thomas goes in to explain everything about this whole liar comment. I posted it on my TikTok, and I mean, it's just a mess. As I do agree with Whitney. I know you guys were like, you agree with Whitney? Because she did say in a confessional, it's like continuing to beat a dead horse. This has been going on for the first half of this season. And it looks like when they moved on, Thomas continued to mull over it and continue to bring it up. I mean, he wants to say, I need to tell my truth. It was you, April. And I'm like, what was it? Shanita is the one that was supposed to be on the receiving end of this. And I think Shanita is over it at this point. So why continue to keep this going? And like Whitney say, continue to beat a dead horse. I mean, it's over. Shanita's good. It looked like her and April is cool. Thomas and Shanita is cool. And it's just ridiculous. So over on my TikTok, shout out to all you guys who supported. It's 9,000 of us over there. Go over there and check us out. I did post a video about Matt. It hit over 1.1 million views. Yeah, go check it out. But that whole conversation about the whole Thomas thing, explaining him in real time, is over there as well. Let's talk about Gemma and Matt. So as you guys know, we're on the verge of a whole nother scandal. We had one on Married at First Sight Australia with Carolina and Daniel, and of course they have since broken up after the show. But now we got this going on between this bonding that's happening between Whitney and Matt, because from what we see, they realized they had a connection as they shared a scene together at the end of this episode where they discussed their family and their current relationships. Because I think, and there's a video also on my TikTok where Matt is explaining about the situation with his mom and his cancer. And then, of course, we know Whitney lost her mom as well. Duca, I'm actually changing my mind about him. At first, I thought he was being victimized, but I'm like, at this point, you should know Whitney don't want you, and you're acting like, yes, I'm rooting for this, I'm going for this. And I'm like, I don't know, I got to give you a side-eye Duca on that one, because that doesn't make sense at this point. In the beginning, yeah. Now, no, because Whitney is like, when it comes to Duca, she didn't come here to settle. She says she thinks subconsciously she have done that. I mean, she don't want that man. And she even said that she shrunk herself for him. She was telling that to Matt. Matt talked about Gemma, saying that he's in a similar position. And they had this old flirty chat and a hug that we saw at the end. I'm all about romantic connections, but it's how you do it. Now, that video that has 1.1 million views on my TikTok, that particular video actually has Matt explaining everything about how the affair or whatever is supposed to have went down and the timeline of that as well. So go over there and check that out. I'll leave the link in the description because he breaks all of that down about the time and distance between himself and Gemma. I like to let these people speak for themselves. That's why I check and watch them outside of these, the TV cameras. So I honestly think that because they've been going on dates. If you follow them on Instagram, I follow all of these contestants over on IG, and they pretty much put it out there what's going on. I say, this show really lets these folks talk. I didn't see that much on the AU versions. I think they were controlled by, production on what gets out on social media. But not with them. The season isn't even almost halfway over, and they are talking. So I'll keep you guys posted, but we'll get to see in episode 18 that they're going to get a little bit closer than a hug, because we actually see them participate on this kiss that's happening on the bridge. So we have to stay tuned for that. Okay, so there you have it. Let's get the conversation started. What do you think about this mess between Thomas and April? Don't you think they should just close the door on that? Do you think Sophie and Jonathan can move forward? And then this whole wife swapping scandal that's about to unfold between Whitney and Matt. What do you think about that? And then again, check the link in the description in regards to see Matt's explanation on his situation and timeline when it comes to Whitney. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.